All right, time for another New England Patriots 2026 NFL Draft Target. Today we got Anthony Hill Jr., linebacker from Texas. Now, admittedly, coming out of the spring, I didn't really have linebacker really high up on the needs list for the 2026 NFL Draft. It was on there. And Anthony Hill, just because of who he is as a prospect overall, not just I would put him as a defender, a defensive weapon. He was high on my list, but going into the summer and then preseason and watching the Raiders game, it's high up there. I mean, safety and then probably linebacker, and they're not too far apart. And it has to do with maybe kind of play style, lack of depth there, and really having a guy who really can take on any responsibility and is also a playmaker on the defensive side. Anthony Hill definitely checks those boxes. And in fact, Anthony Hill is probably my favorite linebacker prospect since Jack Campbell, which I know it hasn't been that long, but at this point in the season, I haven't been very bullish on a lot of linebackers except Anthony Hill and him. But it's because he is a full-service, comprehensive linebacker, but he can play just about everything in that front seven. Now, I wouldn't say he's a Parsons or has shown his ability to be, an Abdul Carter, but as a linebacker, much more comprehensive than both of those two, and yet still has some pass rush and blitzing ability. It's quite impressive. He's 6'2", 230, nice long arms. He's a true junior, right? He's a 5-star recruit, expected to have around a 4.5 in his 40. In 2024, he had 113 total tackles, 16.5 for loss, 8 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, an INT. And in 2023, he had 66. This is a freshman. He had 66 total, 40 solo, 8 tackles for loss, 5 sacks. And that was in 14 games with only 6 starts. He also had a forced fumble, 4 QB hurries, and 2 pass breakups. So since day one, this guy's been a disruptor, a playmaker on defense, but also not just a gambler, like solid fundamentals as a defender in that front seven. Now, the critical factors we're looking at that makes him a top prospect, easily top 3 prospect for me going into the draft for the Patriots, and probably top 10 overall, is that he has he's a true 3-down guy. Maybe not an impressive 10 out of 10 there, but let's say a 7 or 8 out of 10. His football instincts, elite level there, I put that as a 9 out of 10. Play speed, I would say it's 10 out of 10 with the idea that he does not just run around like he's on fire or like a chicken with his head cut off. I mean, it's the highest level of play speed I could see from a linebacker recently that still shows vision and processing and IQ being built into his movement. So running around at high speed, but it's not chaos. So 3-down ability, IQ, instincts, play speed, all elite. Other things that contribute to this is also the fact that he is a 3-level impact. Yes, he can be right up front of the line, can be off ball, and you can even drop him deep into some coverage. Now, you might be thinking that's how he runs a 4.5 40. He's got huge length, big body, so he can be dropped back, right? More of that safety area, and just take up some space, and he's good in coverage. He's great at containment. He has stoutness versus the run. Pretty good at shedding ability. The ability to navigate through the muck and the trash, way up there. Sometimes he just goes in that pile, navigates through, and all of a sudden it's oh, there he is, and he's got the guy, and he's dragging him down behind the line of scrimmage. Tackling, I wouldn't say ultra elite. He does have some missed tackles, but that might be just from, again, over-aggressiveness. He's coming in too fast, and he's actually guessed correctly. Just, he got there. He anticipated where the running back, he anticipated when the ball carrier was going to be well before the guy was there, really, and, the guy's once split second too early. Good in zone coverage. Range is 10 out of 10. As a linebacker, his blitzing is, I would say almost 10 out of 10 there. And as an edge rusher, because yes, he does get lined up in a 9. And if you want to put him out there, it's not like he has a massive toolbox. of pass rush moves, but he looks like he belongs. Toughness, I haven't seen anything like this guy. Has no problem doing the dirty work. He does not run out of steam. He does not run out of aggressiveness throughout the whole entire game. The only thing I would put a little question mark on is I have no idea if he has really any good special teams value. And the big thing here is you see this stuff on tape. This isn't just like hints. I've watched every game I've watched with him. I see those elite level traits: the football IQ, the processing speeds, the exceptional ability to read and diagnose plays pre-snap and during development, quick recognition of route concepts and backfield action. The running backs can't hide from him. He definitely shows an advanced understanding of concepts even at a young age. Again, as a freshman, he was showing these things. He's shown improvement over the years so far. This guy was physically talented, but also educated enough in football to be impact as a freshman. And you also see that mix of like natural talent as being aggressive and fast and athletic, but also has the technique. Like I said, good tackling technique, consistently finishes plays with form and physicality, secures the tackler, wraps up. I mean, if he grabs you, I haven't seen anybody really break a tackle. I've seen him miss a tackle and kind of just get a hand on a guy, but when he gets a good wrap, I don't see anybody getting away from him. Those one-on-one situations, he's almost always coming out with a tackle. Again, pass rush, good timing, explosive, can penetrate in the backfield. And I think one of the more important ideas is that when he is rushing and when he's blitzing, it's a safe rush. So he has the discipline against those mobile quarterbacks, which is obviously don't break containment. He's doing these things, again, just showing that he's doing these things at high speed, a lot of aggression, 1,000,000 miles per hour, but it's not like blind rage. There's still technique. There's still knowing his responsibilities and sticking to his job. He would definitely be one of those linebackers that you could say is a sideline to sideline guy. Outstanding pursuit speed, good tracking ability, can cover ground extremely quickly, makes plays well outside the box. And again, he's effective in space against skill positions, screen passes. Don't do the screen to his side. And that's the thing, Texas moves him over onto the side where there could be a screen. He's always being moved out there, kind of like an overhang, anticipating a potential screen. He, sniffs it out, and he's just beelining right for the guy, and, he blows it up. He's not just a speed guy who just goes around into space. This guy has no problem being that downhill physical presence against inside runs. Definitely shows patience and discipline, though. He just doesn't always overcommit. You can tell when he's being a little patient to see what happens. He just finds that crease and boom, blows the whole thing up. He's able to slip right past blockers, and he almost always stays clean in traffic. Like I said, there's some times where he just goes into a pile, and all of a sudden you see the number 0 coming out the backside, holding on to a running back and dragging him to the ground. It's really impressive. I think another thing that, although probably doesn't need to be said, this guy's got versatility. He's playing Mike, he's playing Will, he's playing Sam. Whatever you need this guy to do, he can do it. And when he gets moved to those spots, he knows his responsibilities, and he's not just a placeholder. He's a playmaker at all those positions. Now, if I have any weaknesses for him, I wouldn't put him as like an amazing man coverage guy. I guess you could probably put him out on tight ends. Maybe some really small, shiftier running backs might beat him one-on-one if they're coming out. But for his size and how he plays, not a big deal. There's just obviously some matchups that the guy's going to have a little bit of an edge on him. Block shedding, I guess bigger, stronger blockers do get a hold of him. But again, for his size, he's not like 6'5", 250 something. So when a guard comes out on him, he's not going to easily get away. So he can get washed out on certain plays if he doesn't disengage immediately. And again, his athleticism can get him in trouble sometimes with pursuit angles. I don't think it's a judgment or reading it wrong. I just think sometimes he's just moving so fast and he's trying to get there in certain times, and most linebackers wouldn't even be there. So it's interesting that, sometimes he misses. He's not in the best spot, but some linebackers wouldn't even be there. So I guess it's a byproduct of just moving so fast. He's around the play, but most linebackers wouldn't even be around the play the way the guy moves. Now, I think the next thing would be, what does he do for the Patriots? Again, a defensive weapon. Now, I wouldn't put him as a Abdul Carter situation where, you can hybrid him out and make him more of like an edge exclusively now. No, I wouldn't do that. But is he more polished than like a Javon Walker? Yeah. So a guy that you move him around, he's a defensive playmaker, in a variety of alignments. He becomes the offensive coordinator and the offensive line coach, like their worst nightmare, right? Because is he playing Mike? Is he playing like a hybrid Will / Mike? Is he playing up front? Is he going to drop in the coverage? This is a guy where whatever he does, wherever he is, you have to start counting on what he is and what he's doing. The quarterback's always going to be looking for this guy. What's he doing? Is he blitzing? Is he dropping the coverage? Is he going to delay blitz? And it's something, the Patriots kind of need right now because you have linebackers, but when you look at the roster of linebackers, there's guys who are there who are good at certain things, and then there are some major holes in their player profile. I'm not saying that Anthony comes in and he's perfect, but I don't see any massive holes in his player profile. Things that can be fixed, but against their back and just sweep things up. He can do both. And I think his brain can handle both of those responsibilities. And the flexibility, if you need him to be a hybrid player, to move between positions based upon the formation and the down, where they are on the field, no problem there, which is extremely valuable in modern NFL defenses requiring versatility. He can rush, he can cover, and defend effectively. So I think he is ideal for the Patriots. Now, the question is, does he actually get to the Patriots? That would be an interesting, depending on where the Patriots actually pick in the draft. And the thing is that the Patriots, if they really like him, even if they are in the middle of the round, they might have to move up to get this guy if they really want him. Because when I look around the NFL, there's not a lot of guys that are like him. And there's a lot of teams that are needing some help at the linebacker level. So I can see him easily being a top 10 pick. Anyway, what do you guys think of Anthony? Should the Patriots go after him? If so, when? Let me know in the comment section below. If you guys like this content, please like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.